I'm Edward Waite, and this is my daughter, Jordan Waite. Today, we will be doing a video interview for Anthem Blue Cross. Hello, I'm Ed.
I'm Jordan. So, Ed, tell me about a time when you had to go above and beyond the call of duty. How did you handle the situation?
Well, I used to work for Anthem back in 2005. I was in customer care management at the time, and we would be on the computer where members would call in and with questions and concerns. And I do remember a member, he called in and he had a lot of problems going on with the policy, so he just was confused on how to get it straightened out. So there was numerous times where I would work with the member and then say to him, well, you know, Mr. Johnson, I got to call you back in an hour. Is it okay if I call you back? And I would confirm his information, and I'd go try to fix it manually and then give him a call back. If some of the stuff required me to communicate with other departments, so instead of just calling those departments or instant messaging those departments, I would physically get up and go to those departments and talk to the person who I needed to speak to. And by doing that, even though the issues took a day or two, every time I talked to the member and I explained to him that I needed to call him back, I did exactly just that. I called him back when I told him I was going to. Eventually, we were able to straighten it all out. He was very happy, and I thought that was the end of it at the time. But I got a letter probably about 3 or 4 weeks later from the CEO of WellPoint, and explaining to me that he knew that particular member, and he wanted to thank me for all of my hard work and efforts and going above and beyond for the member. And that's how I see things, as far as go above and beyond for your member. Be the advocate.
Describe a time when you worked well on a team.
Well, I think, I coach baseball, and I have other coaches and stuff, and I think the key to working well together is to make sure that you have an open line of communication. That's the key. If you don't understand, ask, and again, it's just like part of being part of that team that, you do what you have to do, but then you ask your teammates, hey, do you need help? Do you need this? Can I help you this? Or if you have questions, you got to go to your teammates so that they can try to help work with you. And I think that's key. And being a baseball coach or of that nature, it helps me learn how much importance teamwork and being and communicating all help out.
Tell me about a time when you had too many things to do and had to prioritize your tasks.
Well, when in previous years when I've worked at case management, you have to reach out to members for your nurses, and then you have letters to do, then you have facilities to call, then you have training to do, and you have to prioritize them. If when you first come in the morning, for example, you do your letters, and then you make your calls for your nurses, and then when that's done, you try to see, well, when's my training due? I got these letters I got to run down to mailing, but this project's due in an hour. So you have to prioritize when do things need to be done, and then you can do that in a timely manner.
Tell me about a time when you worked effectively under pressure.
Again, I used to be a fireman, and one thing I've learned over the years is that there's not much more pressure than that. And you just have to keep calm. You have to, be calm, cool, and collective, and you have to communicate, and you have to just prioritize everything, and it's no different than working at a place like Anthem. You have to be able to, figure it out, and you're always under pressure because you always have to be flexible. You want things done in a time frame, but you want them done right the first time, so you don't have to go back and take more time to do them. And I think that over my years of experience with customer service, that seems to be the key: communication and execution.
Give me an example of a time when you showed initiative.
When I used to work for this company, and you'd be part of a team. So if I got my job done, say I got my job done by 1:00 in the afternoon. Well, instead of sitting there just wasting time, and nobody would have been the wiser, but instead of doing that, I sent a message to my teammates going, "Hey, how are you doing? Do you need help? Is there anything I can do to make it better for you?" And that's, again, communication, teamwork. It's all prioritized, and that's the way I like to work.
Well, Ed, that's all the questions I have for you today.
All right, thank you very much.